Hey everybody, this is Constant Revolution. Right now I'm in beautiful Victoria here in Hokkaido. So apparently I'm in Japan right now, but that's fine. Okay, I want to actually introduce our newest guest on the Collector's Perspective. His name is Benjamin Chee, and he's the founder of Benjamin Chee Haute Horlogerie.
Thank you very much. Thank you so much. It's a great pleasure and honor, bro.
Pleasure is ours.
Thank
So
you.
today we'll be here actually to talk about your journey. Again, also how you actually get started into the watch business, right?
Yep.
So Benjamin here is actually owner of 3 brands, but of course we'll be introducing that to you later. All right. So let's start with your personal journey, man.
Sure.
Right.
Sure.
So of course we have a number of watches in front of us. It's quite a number of watches in front of us, but let's go through them one by one. I think all of them means a little bit to you, right?
All of them have some meaning to me, but some have a bit more meaning, I guess. Yeah.
That's cool. Okay, so first watch, of course, will be this guy. It is the 1931 Reverso reissue, right?
US edition.
US edition,
So
all right.
limited to 100 pieces.
Fantastic.
This was the very first Casafagliano edition, if I recall. I think it was launched in 2011. I actually bought it in 2012 from the Beverly Hills boutique.
Beautiful.
So it's got these special needle hands, syringe hands.
Oh wow,
if you
yeah.
notice. And it's got the 14er as well.
Yeah,
So it's
I mean, it does look like a vintage looking.
Exactly. So it's
as
a
well.
bit different from the standard 31 tribute.
Wow. It's still rather a beautiful watch. I mean, if you
Thank you.
didn't tell me about this, I
Thank you.
would not know that it's special, right,
Yeah.
compared to the 1931 reissue,
you.
you know. So I mean, oh wow, great first watch actually.
Yeah.
You know, it's a really beautiful one.
With the very meager profits I made from my first few watches, so I actually bought this watch. So it kind of means something to me because it's sort of like the first watch I bought with the profits from my first venture, I guess.
Wow.
Yeah.
Great, man. This is a great watch. Yeah. Then of course the next one in your personal collection.
So that's a
brand,
vintage,
right?
new old stock Beijing BS2.
Okay.
So BS2 is the second generation of China-made watches. This was made in around 1962.
Wow.
And the story behind this, this was quite rare to begin with because it was based on a Swiss movement. I do believe it was an Anikar movement. And then the tooling was bought by Beijing Watch Factory. It was brought to China. And then they created this completely indigenous watch from scratch. And when I went to Beijing Watch Factory in 2013, January, when I first started my brands, I went there and had a tour of Tianjin and Beijing. So the manager of the factory, as a gift, gifted me one of these NOS new old stock vintage Beijing watches. So it's extremely special. And you know, it's amazing because it's 100% Chinese. The industry is very different from the way it is now, where it's more of a, more separated out. Back then, the factory literally made everything: the cases, the dials, the movements, the hands. They made A to B, everything from scratch.
Wow.
Whereas now it's more separated out in a cottage industry.
Wow,
So-
this is really in. I mean, 1962. This is insane condition.
And it was new stock, and I've worn it quite gently, of course, and it still ticks. It keeps great time. So it's amazing. It's about
Wow.
61 years old now, and
Wow,
you know,
this is definitely a true vintage,
amazing
man.
condition.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And of course, from your personal watch, the last watch that very happy to share. You know, this, the stories. I heard that you have a great story with this watch as well. This is
I
a
do.
vintage Vacheron Constantine.
It is.
All right. So tell me about this watch, man.
So this is the reference 6355, and I bought it in around the end of 2012. So I have quite a lot of my own personal watches, but I specifically chose 3 watches that I bought from around the time that I started my first brand, because it kind of gives you the idea of my headspace at the time, you know, and the kind of watches that inspired me as well to start my first brand. And this is a vintage Vacheron watch. I bought it was a single owner watch. I bought it from the son of the guy who owned it for about 50 years, and then he passed away. And he wore it every day apparently. It came from the US. So, and it's still in amazing condition.
Amazing condition. And oh wow, the engraving at the back, man.
Exactly, fully
Yeah.
original. And the engraving's part of the story. So if you notice, it's engraved BAS.
Yeah.
And the B is Benjamin, apparently. So the guy who owned it for
Has the same name as you, basically.
exactly 50 years he's also named Benjamin.
Wow.
And that's part of the story as well. And it came with the original box, the hang tag, the whole works literally.
Fantastic.
So and everything was in great condition.
Wow.
And it's all original, of course. So it was amazing to see what a Vacheron looked like, almost brand new from the 1960s. And the price back then was $800. It came with a little hang tag even.
Wow,
so
nice.
it was amazing.
Full set. And the date engraved is like 1962 as well.
Exactly.
Like 25th of December 1962.
Exactly.
Wow, so we watched from the same year.
Exactly. So it's really, it was special to the first owner and it's special to the current owner as well. So I wore it when I went to Geneva in early 2014. I wore it to the Vacheron boutique. They hosted me for dinner. And, it was amazing. I was thinking, wow, this is the first time it's been back in Geneva in 50, 60 years, and it's amazing.
It's amazing condition.
So I like to buy things and watches in general with a story, So it doesn't have to be expensive. It could be $100, but if it's got significance to it, I want to have it,
Fantastic,
It doesn't have to be expensive. It just has to have something special about it.
Fantastic, yeah. I mean, that's what this passion is about, man. It's
Exactly.
not about monetary value,
Exactly.
it's about the inherent value,
Exactly.
narrative value. Yeah,
Exactly.
fantastic. I mean, this is great 3 personal watches, and I love that they all have personal stories and they mean something to you.
Thank you.
So, of course, right now we go into the brands.
Sure. So my first brand was, Celadon,
Okay.
and I started with more accessibly priced watches. So these are around the 1,000, 2,000 US mark. To be exact, these are 1,900 US dollars.
Wow.
And these are the latest version of what was my original watch. So it's kind of interesting. It's both the first and the last in a way. My first watches were the Imperial with the Beijing watch movement.
Wow.
And it's got those beautiful plum blossom guilloche. They're actually inspired by vintage Chinese watch designs from the 50s and 60s. And many people don't know about this, but there was a very strong indigenous design language inherent in vintage Chinese watches, which was completely forgotten around the 80s and 90s with the quartz crisis. So I wanted to revive that beautiful design language with the elegant dials, the beautiful guilloche, the beautiful logos even.
It's a very, very elegant watch.
Thank you.
With a beautiful steel case. I think I like this overhanging lux.
Exactly.
This design.
Exactly.
Dolphin hands, of course. These
Of
have
course,
dolphin hands. At this price point, you're getting dolphin hands.
And the special thing about these watches are they are mother of pearl CSE guilloche.
So the next thing I'm going to tell, of course, is the mother of pearl. Both of these watches come with mother of pearl. Of course, it does come with a CNC machine technique and also a guilloche as well, right?
That's right. Yeah.
So for 1,900 US dollars, I think.
US dollars.
It's great value there. Of course, now we move on to a watch that it's under the. It's not a watch that is in production, of course, and it's not a watch that was made into the production. It's a special one-off, right?
Exactly.
So we do have it here. Okay, this is actually a Maison Celadon case, but with a beautiful dog on the dial. So Benjamin, tell me about this.
So I made this watch in 2017 for myself, and I love dogs, and my dog Chestnut was a constant companion in throughout my journey of the watch industry, I guess, my adventures in horology. And around 2017, I created a line of Suzhou silk embroidery watches where the entire dial is embroidered by hand with Suzhou silk, which is a tradition in China that's about 1,600 years old.
Of course, yeah.
It's amazing. So I created 3 different dial designs. I created an entire line, sold out. But I decided to use the same technique to create a dog face on the dial, and this was made during my dog's lifetime. Unfortunately, he passed away about 9 months ago.
Oh, wow.
So I am actually designing a new watch for myself to honor him, but this one will be in micro-painting enamel. And I wanted to bring him to so many places, to walk in snow, to go on a boat, to see so many amazing things which we never got the chance to because I was so busy building my business. Yeah. So my intention is to create an enamel watch to wear it everywhere, that I will go to these places in future. And it kind of I take him with me spiritually, in spirit,
Wow,
you know.
that's
So,
a
yeah,
very touching
so-
story, man. I mean,
you.
the embroidery is amazing.
Thank you.
Man, I can actually see, well, your dog is accurately depicted on
Exactly.
now, which is beautiful, man.
Fur
Yeah.
really suits Suzhou silk embroidery and micro painting enamel. So I really wanted to use this medium of Suzhou silk to depict his face because it really
Wow.
suits the medium, you know.
It's amazing, man.
Thank you.
I really
Thank
gotta
you.
say it's amazing. I mean, it's a great tribute to your dog.
Thank you.
I
Yeah.
mean, I would love to have the ability to do that
Thank you.
for my dogs as well. But you know, this is something that is really special, man. Okay, so next, of course, we'll be moving on to something that I personally think that is cool. I mean, it's a sports watch. We call it the
My second brand. So I
Milléchron.
started this brand, Milléchron, in around 2018. And this is the Monarch M. M stands for micro rotor, to be exact. So it's got the Vaucher 5401 micro rotor movement. It's the new and improved version of this very, widely used movement by many other high horology brands. We were the first brand to use this movement in the summer of 2019, to be exact. And this is a unique piece. I call it the Costa Esmeralda dial because of the emerald dial.
Yeah,
I created it for myself, but
It's
we
beautiful.
produce various colors in yellow and black, in blue and green. So we've got various versions of this, and we have
this
a
is
center seconds.
this is a piece unique. Okay, made for Benjamin himself. Yeah, I mean, Esmeralda, I know it looks
Yeah,
really like an emerald,
exactly.
it's beautiful. The sunburst style, it works, man. It
Thank you.
really just
Thank
makes
you.
the watch shines. I
Thank you.
think it's
I
really
love wearing
beautiful.
that, for hanging out on the beach resort.
Oh yeah, I mean,
or
it's a great watch.
just
man.
doing all
It's
sorts
just
of
a
watch
lifestyle
sports.
watch, man. And I like
Exactly.
the hands. I like the design, the hollow hands. I think it's fine.
Semi-skeletal. There's a lot
Yeah.
of depth to it. There's a
Yeah.
lot of three-dimensionality. So I didn't want to have a boring watch. I mean, you have to remember, I create all these watches first and foremost for an extremely difficult client, and that's myself. so it's got a pass muster in a way. And, I wanted to create a refined, elegant, thin sports watch that was still high horology in a way. And no one had done a micro rotor diver. This is dive rated to 200 meters.
Wow.
904 stainless steel. Everything is top notch.
Yeah, I mean, I love the micro rotor movement as well. And the watch is exceptionally thin, right? Because of the
It
micro
is,
rotor.
yeah. It's about 9 millimeters.
Wow, that's amazing.
Considering the curved crystal.
And considering 200-meter water resistance,
Exactly,
right?
exactly.
So,
yeah,
wow,
yeah.
it's a very
That was the
lifestyle
plan,
watch.
to do
It's
a
fantastic.
thin but robust diver. Because, I have those obvious sports watches. A lot of them are a bit fragile, to be honest. So I mean,
it is dress watches.
you wouldn't really want to wear them, on a jet ski perhaps, or boating.
Yeah,
or,
no, you would not
doing
want
water
to do
sports.
that.
So I wanted something that still had the high horology chops while still being robust,
Okay,
And it helps that I have a couple spare cases lying around which I can, replace them with.
fantastic. So now let's go into something a little bit more serious, right? So we're talking about
Me, I'm always
horology,
serious.
right? Yes. So Benjamin Chee, he's known for Haute Horlogerie, actually, Singapore's first Haute Horlogerie brand owner. So now we're gonna go into what his version of Haute Horlogerie is. This is special. Let's talk about this. So this is actually the Celadon Haute Horlogerie, right?
So this is exactly my Celadon HH line,
Okay.
which I started around 2019. And the intention was to create a high quality, high horology, completely Chinese watch with also Chinese design and cultural elements, because that's sort of lacking in many Chinese watches, sadly.
Yeah. So this Celadon HH, as I can see, of course, with the beautiful cloisonné enamel. The case is beautiful. I mean, it has
you.
this two-tone brushing, polish and matte brushing.
If you see
beautiful
that
case.
line there, I designed
Oh,
it
yeah.
to look like the classical Chinese arch bridges. If you go
Oh,
to
okay.
Suzhou,
Wow.
Hangzhou, you can see those beautiful, elegant Chinese arch bridges.
The inspiration from the Chinese
and
tradition
the-
is crazy. Yeah.
Exactly, and the moon gates of southern China. So I wanted to have a very, if you picture a classical, refined, elegant, simple but amazing quality Chinese watch, I hope this is what you picture in your mind.
Oh my God, definitely. I mean, it's a great crossbreed between a Van Gogh painting, which is from the West,
Exactly.
and the overall design of you know,
Exactly.
from Chinese
So
culture. You know, that's amazing. Yeah.
My first collection for Celadon HH, I wanted to do like a East-West thing. So we wanted to show that we are, you know, highly skilled in both Western and Eastern artistic traditions. So we had the Peacock and Peonies, which is more Chinese, and we had the Van Gogh Starry Night, and we also have a very technical regulator. So it's sort of covering all bases.
Wow.
In Chinese, we call it Wen Wu Shuang Quan, where we are, you know,
yeah.
amazing in both
Yes.
the artistic and the martial fields. You know, if you
Amazing,
like.
man. We got to talk about the amazing movement, man. I mean,
Thank you.
this thing is like staring back at me and
Thank you.
shouting to me that, hey, he wants to be heard and wants to be seen, man.
So the intention behind this first watch, the Celadon Century, was, you know, it's supposed to be, do you think the movement is more impressive or the dial is more impressive? You know, there's that eternal conflict, isn't it? You know,
It's crazy,
and
man.
the dial is created, you know, it's just absolutely amazing. It's created by the best enameler in China, but the movement is created by an AHCI master watchmaker, Lin Yonghua. He's
Wow.
one
Oh,
of, I do believe, one of 3 AHCI
Master
Chinese
Lin, yeah.
watchmakers. So
amazing.
the AHCI is the Academy of Independent
Yep.
Horology Makers. So they're basically the most prestigious, most skilled,
Yes.
most renowned watch and clock makers in the world. And so, you know, I wanted to go for the best.
It's amazing,
So,
man. You know, even with a single color, monotone color, it's beautiful, man.
Thank you.
It
Thank
really
you.
is beautiful. I
Thank
mean,
you.
this is true quality. I mean, oh
Thank you,
wow,
thank
look
you.
at the balance bridge, it's crazy. So,
So
Celadon HH has a couple of watches. This is
Exactly.
the same.
The first collection,
Yeah,
the
this.
Peacock and
So the
Peonies.
Van Gogh and the Peacock collection, which is this one, is actually the same under the same first series, Celadon
is.
HH, right?
Yep.
So this Peacock, it's beautiful, man.
It's
I mean,
incredibly
it's,
popular, this
wow. I mean, if you're talking about the the heritage of the case, you know, and having a Chinese master enamel artist and have another yet Chinese master watchmaker, you want to have it
One of the
in
best, yeah.
full Chinese
Exactly.
inspired dial, you know.
But it's
This
not too kitschy either. You know, I wanted to have something very elegant and refined.
I
you
mean,
know.
you got it, man. I mean, congratulations on
Thank
this.
you,
It's
thank
really
you.
beautiful.
Thank you.
Of course, now we move on to the next, the regulator from Celadon HH as well, right? So this is actually,
Exactly.
after looking at the enamel dials, I mean, this is a little bit more simple, I think, but yet not simple, right?
Yep,
So
yeah.
tell us about it, man, Benjamin.
So I wanted to create something, you know, apart from being artistic, but also a technical piece. So people were not saying, you know, we are just creating artistic watches. There's a lot of movement chops to the movement itself. And, you know, it's incredibly accurate. The hands are all handmade, obviously.
Wow.
Hand finished, handmade. Everything is top notch, basically.
It's really insane. I mean, you have 3 different hands.
And it's all customizable. If you notice, all 3 have different bluing on the hands.
Yeah.
So one is completely blue, all done the traditional way, of course. One is what we call transition blue, which I do believe we are the only brand to do that, in that it sort of transitioned from silver all the way to blue and purple and blue. So that really shows the artisanal quality about it.
Wow.
Because that can't be done industrially in an oven.
I mean,
And it's
this is the highest tier of independence. What can you ask for? You know, bespoke pieces. You know, is what Benjamin it's known for. So
Thank you.
it's fantastic, man. I mean, the gray brush dial is beautiful.
Thank you.
We have contrasting sub dials.
Exactly.
I mean, in the regulator, I mean, it's just insane. I mean, the overall condition, man. Well done, sir.
Thank you. Thank you.
Fantastic.
The whole idea behind Celadon, the design language, was the idea of yuanman, which is perfection and fullness in Chinese. And so everything is very rounded and curvaceous and elegant. So if you notice from the movement, the bridges,
Yep.
they're very curvaceous and
Yes.
voluptuous.
Yes.
You know, it harmonizes with the case and the hands. Everything is just so soothing and elegant and serene. And, you know, it's a sort of feeling you
amazing,
get
man. Yeah.
when you're drinking a tea on the West Lake in Hangzhou
Yeah,
and
nice.
just looking at the willows.
I can picture it already.
It's
with these
amazing,
watches,
yeah,
man.
exactly.
Amazing. All right, now, of course, the current collection, I would say,
The
for
new
Celadon HH.
century, yes, the new
Let's
century,
look at them.
which
So,
has not been unveiled
There you
before,
go.
by
Yes,
the way.
so
The first time we're unveiling it.
so this is exclusive for Revolution. Thank you so much, Benjamin. You're so kind to
Pleasure.
do the unveiling with
pleasure.
us. And it's 3 series of watches, right? For the new series for Celadon HH, you have. Let's talk about this, man. This is
Three new dials that I designed and a whole new movement. So the first movement is what I call the CH1 movement. That's our sort of entry level,
Okay.
so to speak. Although it's not entry level by any standard. This is my new movement, the CH5, which is an even more elaborate
amazing.
movement, more intricately finished, completely customizable. If you notice, there is a planetary gear mechanism, which is
Yeah. That's the thing. I'm like,
and
wow.
they're different, by the way.
Yeah.
if
So you
notice.
can actually see, as Benjamin said, there's two different finishing of the movements. You can actually see here. It's exactly the same movement, but it has two different materials, right?
Same material, different
material?
finishing. Different.
Wow.
So one has a rose gold plating, one has a white gold plating.
It's insane, man. They look so different.
So the plating is customizable. The finishing is also customizable. If you notice, one is frosted, one is what we call Chinese
Yes.
scroll striped, and there's also perlage on one of them. It is completely customizable. So if you want it all in scroll stripes, or if you want it all in, or if you want it in two-tone, there's all doable.
I see, it's
you
all
know.
bespoke,
Exactly.
all customizable.
Exactly.
But
It's
man,
all
we gotta
made to
talk
order.
about the dial, man. I mean, this
Thank
is
you.
insane. Oh, this is like
Thank you.
Sparrow, right? I mean,
So
it's-
I call this the duo of swallows. It's actually kind of descended from my Sutro silk one, which I created in 2017. We did a Sutro silk version of this, but I wanted to do it in cloisonné enamel, and arguably is even more impressive in cloisonné.
oh my god, it's insane, man. I mean, this
It's a
is like
very,
amazing.
Classic. It's a genre of Chinese art called bird and flower painting, which was very popular in the Song and Ming dynasties. I'm a huge collector and fan of Chinese art in general.
It's fantastic, man. This is really beautiful. And the next one, this piece here.
So I call this the Temple of Heaven. Historically, it was the most important building in China, and it was a temple in Beijing where the emperors would go to twice a year to make prayers for the harvest, and it's a huge landmark for Beijing, which is where these watches, the dials are created. So there's a special, sense of place to it, if you like. So this is the Temple of Heaven, and it's historically in China during the imperial reign, it was the most important building in the entire empire. And I wanted to create it because, firstly, there's that beautiful panoply of colors.
Yeah.
It's just beautiful.
Of course, the last one is actually just the
Mandarin duck.
The Mandarin duck.
So-
So this is tell us a little bit about this.
So the Mandarin duck is a classical symbol of eternal love in Chinese culture, and the Mandarin duck mates for life and has his partner for life, and it's again the Mandarin duck is a very colorful, beautiful bird with this kaleidoscope of colors.
I can see that.
Completely suits
Really
cloisonné
beautiful,
enamel. Traditionally depicted in Chinese art for hundreds of years, and it's a beautiful piece that we wanted to show. But I also wanted to update it. I didn't want to just rehash some old painting. I wanted to update it, improve it, hopefully, and do it even better than our forebears did.
Man, I can see that, and
Thank you.
This is when is it coming up?
So these are essentially launching right now, and we're in the midst of launching it basically.
All right, fantastic. And are they like limited?
They're
to
not.
any-
They're not limited, but our production. To give you an idea of our production for the entire Century range, CH5, CH1, everything is around 50 pieces a year. So it's not limited, but it's limited.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I guess so. Yeah, 50 pieces a year. is
If
not-
you notice, the hands are all different as well.
Yes,
so,
yes, I did-
So
I did
that one's a
notice that.
showpiece, obviously, with no hands.
of course.
But we have completely heat purpled hands.
Yeah.
And we have transition purpled hands.
amazing.
So the idea was to show the artisanality about it, and also the different look of the hands suit different dial designs.
Awesome.
So I just wanted to give a choice. Obviously, it's completely up to the client.
Congratulations, man. They are beautiful.
Thank
I
you,
mean,
thank
this
you
is
so
a
much.
great upgrade. I think with the beveling
Thank
on
you.
the case, you can
Thank you.
actually see difference.
Thank you.
Huge difference.
That's
I
good to
love
know,
this,
yes.
man. I love this.
One whole year of work after that one. So
Fantastic,
yeah.
man. Okay, of course, the final brand, of course, will be your main flagship brand. Okay, it will be this, of course.
So
the
BCH,
Benjamin Chee Haute Horlogerie, right?
Exactly.
So we have here this beautiful world timer.
the Celestial Voyager in
Celestial
collaboration.
Voyager, wow.
Exactly. In collaboration with Sven Anderson, who is independent watchmaker of about 40 years,
Yep.
42 years. And he was the co-founder of the AHCI, which is the Academy of Master Watchmakers. And, you know, he's the godfather of watchmaking, essentially.
Wow, look at the cloisonné enamel, you know. Wow,
Oh,
the
it's beautiful.
colors is crazy. You know, it's like it's blue. You have different type of blue.
Again, completely customizable.
And it's like, again, customizable as well. I mean, Anderson, Genève they are
Needless to
same,
say, one of the
right?
best.
One of the best, yeah. I mean, they do.
Exactly.
Their old-timers are insanely popular
Exactly.
and not easy to get.
We
So-
make roughly 10, 20 pieces of the Celestial Voyager a year across all editions.
Wow.
So that gives you an idea how limited it is.
This is really cool. I mean, the movement itself, it does have a blue rotor.
Exactly.
Tell us
So,
about that
so
blue
that's
rotor.
a vintage Adolf Shield movement from, I believe, the 50s. Sven considers it one of the best movements around, so he uses it for all his watches mostly. And he obviously finishes it to high horology standards. It's done in a proprietary finish for BCHH, so different from his other world timers. The rotor is heated blue 21 karat gold.
Wow.
So it's an Anderson specialty.
Yeah,
nobody,
I know. Yeah.
Nobody else does it.
Yep.
It's engine turned guilloche, of
Yeah.
course.
Oh, I like that the outer rim of the movement is mother of pearl.
Mother
as well.
pearl, exactly. So
Yeah.
it's amazing. The thinness of this watch is astounding if you consider the dial is 3-piece. It's got the cloisonné enamel, the 24-hour ring, and
Yep.
the Aventurine City ring. So you've got 2 pieces of stone, if you like, with the Aventurine and MOP. And the complete thinness with the crystal is roughly 10.1 millimeters, which is amazing for a world time complication.
It's amazing, man.
And the
Like,
size is
wow.
37.7. It's such a purist, amazing size, you know?
Well, I mean, I love this watch, man. This watch
Thank
timer
you.
is
Thank you.
insanely beautiful in platinum. This has
Thank you.
some heft to it, but really, really great on the
Look at the
wrist.
finishing on the case as well.
My
The
God,
lugs,
yeah.
the
It's-
middle part of the
it's
case.
insane,
The
yeah, I mean-
crowns, the crowns are
Double crown?
treat time, very
Yeah.
proud, but so thin as well, you know?
Man, I mean, congratulations on that.
Thank you,
anyway, by
thank
the
you,
way.
thank you.
So, of course, that brings us to the last part, which
Thank
is
you.
the most exciting, one
My
of the
most
I would say,
ambitious-
highlights. Yeah.
My
So-
most ambitious project yet. And that's sort of related to the Celestial Infinity clock. So I wanted that clock to be kind of shrunk down a little bit, although not much shrunk down, if you see.
okay.
And more impressive in some ways.
Okay, just to give you a heads up, I haven't seen it as well. So
First time
let's.
seeing it. First time anyone's seeing it, by the way. It's never been unveiled.
Thank you so much for that. You
My
know,
pleasure.
we're gonna take a look at it right now. So
Constant is
let's,
seeing it for the first time,
seeing it
literally.
for the first time. So please unveil it, Benjamin.
Sure.
Do the honors. Whoa. Oh
So
what
this
is
is
this, Benjamin? Like, wow.
What is this is the common reaction I get. So it's a
like
3D
this.
printed model, and this is not the final
cover as
version.
well, okay.
So that's the cover that goes on it.
Like this?
Exactly.
Oh,
So it's got 2 dials, and to give you a bit of a hint, this is. I won't say anything, but you know, to give you a bit of
okay.
a hint. Yep.
Wow, this is like some is it like Power Ranger, Mask Rider kind of feel of it?
It's certainly, you know, a watch for those who want to be, who don't believe in breaking rules, who don't want to stand out, who believe in doing things the boring, plain old way. You know, if you are that kind of person, this is a watch for you, you know? So,
Oh man, look at how big the crown is.
oh, the new one is better than this.
Wow.
This is the
what
old
is
crown.
this supposed to be? Is it a sword or something? Like,
No, it's part of the design, but
Okay.
it will have a function to it.
wow.
So it's got
okay. I guess I to be honest, I do not know what this is, but
it's got 2 dials to give you
yeah,
an
I can
idea.
see. Okay,
Yep.
I guess this covering this. I guess this
Exactly,
must
yeah.
be something special.
This dial will have a cover as well.
yeah,
so
I guess the time should be here, but you know nobody knows. Only Benjamin knows.
who needs the time on a watch? I mean, you know.
So we'll see. You know, when is this like coming?
It was meant to launch last year. It's
Okay.
been a bit delayed because of
Okay.
how ambitious it is. Hopefully by the end of this
Yeah,
year.
I can see that.
Hopefully by the end
Alright,
of this year.
Man, okay, I can't wait to see what.
I can't wait
gonna
either.
Be.
It's
just
it's
finalized
amazing.
and everything.
It's amazing.
But
yeah.
anyway, thank you so much, Benjamin.
Thank you.
It's a pleasure to have you.
Pleasure, privilege, and honor.
Catch you in the next one.